What's up, guys? Welcome to my Forever World, a Minecraft server where I've been building since November of last year. Today we're tackling this winery behind me. Let's get into it. First, let's figure out where we're going to build this thing. Right behind me is a spruce biome that I've cleared the trees out for, but we have a little bit of work. As we're getting into it, I'll just give you a little rundown about the history of this. It was November when I started this, and it's a fully survival server with vanilla plus mods. And if y'all are interested in knowing what mods, I can definitely drop a mod list in the description of the next video where we'll be finishing up this area, but without any spoilers. The overall inspiration for this winery is nothing that I've referenced from real life structures or anything, but it is something that I really wanted to accomplish in this world, to bring a different vibe and aesthetic to what I have so far, and we'll just see how it goes. So this is the outline, and by outline it's kind of a skeleton of what I like to do in planning and pre-building phase. It helps me keep track of everything. But this is more important, the build palette. So what we're going to be doing is we're using deep slate, spruce wood, cherry logs, and terracotta mainly, with black glass and nether brick interior flooring. This in all gives a cool but yet warm and cozy feeling to the building just through the color palette on its own. Without any further ado, we'll just start on this build, and I'm starting with the foundation. I enjoy building as if it was a 3D printer, and what I mean by that is layer by layer. Instead of putting in the most primary or obvious features first and going back and forth and overworking every area, it's a lot easier when building in survival to do it layer by layer. And the best way I achieve this is using my creative world to my full advantage, where I plan out all my builds beforehand. But overall, you'll see me adding a lot of depth through wall layering, and I feel like that's a really good alternative to gradients if you're not there yet and you're building. Yeah, we're just establishing a thick foundation. I think it adds a lot of proportionality and adds a lot of balance when you're building such a large scale. It grounds your structure. So, yeah, enjoy the build. I'll be putting on some music, and there you are. I'll come back in a little bit. Awesome, guys. So, hope y'all enjoyed that. We're gonna get right back into it though. So, with this water wheel, water has to have somewhere to go. So, plan is we're gonna build, or I guess we're gonna dig, uh, a stream. And this stream won't only be used to say the water's going somewhere from the water wheel, but I'm planning on taking it right down, um, the whole property and use it as some sort of irrigation system for our crops. And we'll cut back into it right now. Here we are. And of course, what's a stream without life? You know what I mean? So, adding some grass with just bone meal and really just livens the whole thing up, put some greenery in there, makes it look like we didn't just dig it out, right? And I've put some fields in here. There we are, putting in the trellises. So this will be our main grape field. And we'll eventually put some sweet berries, glowberries, and a bunch of other decorations. But after adding some exterior pathing with some coarse dirt and moss, it really livened the whole thing up. So let's get started on the main paths, which is a pretty big task with so much land to cover. But nothing we can't handle, right? So, but for now we gotta establish our path. In doing so, we're going to start digging out some trenches where we're gonna place our pathing blocks. And the block palette for that is spruce trapdoors, moss, stone, deep slate, basalt, and that's about it. But as we're digging this up, I'm constantly checking my map to make sure having some sort of organization always helps. But let's cut to building something more exciting than these paths. Perfect. What do y'all think? I think it looks pretty good. So back to these paths. Bit of a squirrel brain, but by squirrel brain. Fairly scatterbrained, but we're gonna get it done regardless, right? So really, I approach this in a way of randomness, but also you kind of just brainlessly fill in. Perfect. And as we're finishing this up, we're going to do something a little different for the cellar, and that's because I want the cellar to have more gray tones, since I imagine there's a lot more traffic going back and forth in and out of the cellar by taking out aged wines to go into the tasting room, bringing in more supplies to make more wine, so on and so forth. So we're just going to use a bit of a different color palette and blend this whole thing in. It'll give such a subtle but effective effect. That will be really nice when we go through the final cinematics of this build. But all this pathing's nice and all, but we need a fence. So this is my general concept for this fence, and I don't really need it to be very effective because I mob-proof all my areas as best as possible. So we're going with something a little bit funky, but it brings in a really nice naturalistic look to the whole thing. And now that we have that sorted, we can get onto the lights. And with the lights, I'm gonna do a bit of a sped up process of this, but we're just gonna use anvil hoppers and some spruce wood and nether brick posts. With this, it gives us some very aesthetic lighting throughout. So, but we'll see the effect that these give in the final cinematics. But let's get this front archway done. So the palette's the same as the other elements of this design, whether it's the taste, the cellar, or the lights. I want to tie in a cohesive color palette. Sweet, and this was a simple enough build. It doesn't have to be anything fancy to be effective. I think it's a really nice, just little frame for the area. Perfect, that looks awesome. So the last focal point of this build is the dock. And it's important because this winery is functional, operational, and is crucial to the wine industry in this world. So therefore, they have to have a place to ship all this off. And my idea for this, again, carry the same block palette, just try to apply it in different ways, you know? And so these trapdoors, I've gone through maybe a cajillion of them so far throughout the whole construction of this area. But I've used them in many different ways, whether that's on the walls or on the ceiling or right now on the floor, which is something I definitely recommend. And right here, we're gonna construct two different walking areas, lower walkways, and yeah, and so kind of figuring out how everything should look, and it's looking pretty good so far. We're gonna add a little bit of a barrier, change a bit later on, but same idea, same concept. Finish this lower walkway right here. Get attacked by any drown. Perfect, looking good. We'll put some spruce shelf trim on it, kind of get more put together. But the views of the tasting room are looking fantastic right now, and I'm really happy with how this build is coming along, guys. Make sure if you've made it this far in the video, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Really helps me out, especially as a small creator. And let me know what you want to see more of, whether that's a world tour, mod list, expansions on this area. Just leave it in the comments below. And right now, just filling in some piers. We getting attacked by drowns at this point, guys. Not doing too hot. Zombie villager, who would have known? I'm not really feeling this design, so change it a little bit. Make a little thickums at the bottom, skinnier at the top. Looking good, looking solid, looking like a pier. Trying not to die from drowns. Always a struggle. You guys are relentless, let me tell you. Alright, perfect. That's looking good. One more, right here. Yep. There we go. Maybe one more. There we go. Okay. What y'all think? I think this looks good. Alright. Or terraforming, guys. Who would have guessed it? Is this similar to what I'm doing at the cellar, but I'm making this earthier rather than more maintained. And that's because I'm imagining a lot of goods going in and out, a lot of carts, a lot of people, horses, donkeys. Who knows really? So gotten a little bit of wear and tear over the years. So we're just more pods oil, some muddy mangrove roots. Those are slept on blocks, guys. Slept on blocks. I saw other video of the most hated blocks that was on it. I was offended. But moving on, put a roof on this thing. Putting some lanterns as usual. My obsession with the lanterns continues. Alrighty. So we're just finishing this up with some lights. Put a roof on that thing. And it's looking good. So, with this being the last focal point, bit of a bittersweet project. It's taken quite a few hours to bring this whole composition together, but I think we're doing good. And, we just have a couple things left on our checklist, whether that's our custom trees we're going to put in, some more clutter, and other things you'd find around a farm and winery. So, let's look at the overview. We got our lights, we got our fields, we got our fence. Man, it's looking good. We got our bridge too, and our dock. I'll give you a peek at our next project, cobblestone outline. That'll come out in about a week. Now let's look at the final result. like button, ring that notification bell. Thank you guys. Bingo, bango, mango. Over and out.